But what was India's first sound movie?
It's Alam Ara. Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage. I have reviewed almost 400 Indian movies on the channel, and today I want to talk about the Gujarati language children's film The, which marked director and screenwriter Manish Saini's debut. It won the National Film Award for Best Feature Film in Gujarati, and it's such a gem of a film that I hope my review will help at least a little bit to spread the word about it. It's available on Netflix in many countries, including India, so it's very easy to check it out. It tells a very simple but also very heartwarming and endearing story about three young high school friends who are struggling in school. They only hope to pass the upcoming exams to get the help of a magician, who is played by the wonderful Naseeruddin Shah in a nice little cameo. And The is indeed a somewhat magical film, but in a very low-key manner. Children's movies can be loud and super energetic, but this one is not. The tone is very lean back, grounded and chill. And in its mostly calm nature lies a lot of its strength. Director and screenwriter Manish Saini does a terrific job in bringing us back to those days when we were still children and also dependent or surrendered to our teachers and parents. Of course, I didn't go to school in India, but there's obviously something very universal and very relatable to stories and settings like this. I loved how there's almost no dialogue in the first 5 minutes, as the movie so accurately depicts an exam situation. Everybody knows what it's like or what it was like, when you have no clue how to answer those questions and when you try your best to somehow peek over to your friends and what they have put down on paper, always under the fear that a teacher might catch you. It's a simple and beautiful way of connecting with an audience of children, or of course bringing an adult viewer back to those days. And it's also a simple and beautiful way of introducing us to our three protagonists and make clear what kind of pupils they are. And this goes for the entire film. It's simple and beautiful. Everything unfolds just very casually. Maybe a bit too slow in the first half, but that's fine because it invites us to get on its comforting wavelength. The is a children's movie, but it's not a comedy. I mean, it's definitely funny or amusing, but all of that comes naturally. It's a fairly realistic film with characters that behave like real human beings. A movie like this can very easily go with caricatures, both for the children and for the teachers. And that's not bad per se, but this movie doesn't, and still it's able to entertain and maybe even inspire. The teachers can be very harsh and demeaning, and where I'm coming from, their behavior wouldn't be okay in today's day and age. But they are not used as mere bad guys. Though there might be one aspect of this movie that I could criticize if I wanted to. And that's that the school system itself and how it's failing to reach certain children isn't really addressed, or only indirectly. But the process of learning itself is, and that's done in such a, again, simple and beautiful manner through an element in the second half that I don't really want to spoil at this point. Like I said, it's a bit slow for the first hour, which isn't that bad because of the wonderful interactions between our characters and how endearing Manish Saini tells the story, but in the second hour it's getting elevated by this very charming little idea about an owl. And that's all I'm going to say, at least in that direction, because I certainly have to talk about the great performances by our three child actors, who all acted for the first time on screen. Kahan as Gungung, Karan Patel as Kapil and Kuldeep Soda as Bajrang. They are so great together. And the movie gets some nice little comedy and charm out of the fact that we are looking on them as adults who know a little bit more than they do. But at the same time, the movie always treats them with love and care. It takes its young characters seriously while also having some fun with them. And in the end, or actually already throughout, you really sympathize with them. And besides the three young actors and a lovely cameo by Naseeruddin Shah, the cast is completed by a handful of great supporting actors, like Brijendra Kala as their Hindi teacher. But the most important one is Archana Trivedi as Gungun's grandfather. It's the screenplay, the direction, the performance itself and the chemistry with the children that make this something special. There's just something wonderful about the dynamic between someone of old age and someone who's just getting started in life. And The does a fine job giving us something profound, something with a good message, and yet being so lighthearted and casual about it. It's not a preachy film at all, and fitting its topic of magic, it's able to pull off a little magic trick itself in the end. And before I conclude this review, I also want to add that the filmmaking and storytelling are just really nicely done. It's something that's very off-putting when not done right, and if done right, it often goes unnoticed. But when you pay attention to the editing, the compositions, reaction shots and stuff like that, is just really nicely done. And it also has some short but nonetheless sweet songs that were composed by the fusion rock band wirklich. So, in German I'd say, ist ein wirklich toller Film. Ganz unaufgeregt und sehr bodenständig und doch wie ein toller Zaubertrick, der Erwachsene und Kinder gleichermaßen begeistert. I give 8 out of 10. It's more like 7.9, but I don't do that. Alright, that's it like always. Comment below and let me know what you think about and also what Gujarati movie should we watch next. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd and also on Patreon simply at @JimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all I have to tell.